Imagine this. You have the power to create any image, any sound, any video you can think of just by typing a few words into a box. We're talking about a technology that can literally pull media out of thin air. So let's dive into this wild world of AI-generated content, a place where, incredible creativity runs right into some of our deepest fears.
A taper made of accordion. I love this. This wonderfully strange phrase actually comes from a research paper on text-to-image AI. And it's not just a funny mental image. It proves that this tech isn't just copying and pasting things. It's actually composing. It's taking two totally unrelated concepts and blending them in a way a human might. It's like a dream engine, ready to build whatever we can imagine.
And that, right there, is the huge promise. This is so much bigger than just fun photo filters. We are talking about a tool that could completely change how we work and create. An artist could storyboard an entire film in an afternoon. An architect could show you a building in photorealistic detail seconds after you describe it. So how on earth does it work? Is it just magic? Well, not exactly magic, but it's close. The magic is actually a powerful technology called deep learning, and it's the engine driving this whole creative revolution. Okay, so here's the basic idea. Deep learning models are trained by feeding them just enormous, almost incomprehensible amounts of data. They scan millions upon millions of images and read the text descriptions that go with them. And by doing that, they start to learn the relationship between words and what things look like. That's how it learns what a taper is, what an accordion is, and then somehow it figures out how to fuse them together. So where does all this data come from? You guessed it, the internet. Social media, photo sharing sites, news articles, you name it. All of it becomes this giant digital textbook for the AI. And the irony is, they're learning from the very platforms where these huge fierce debates about their ethical use are now exploding. And that brings us to the other side of this coin. Because for all its incredible creative promise, this technology has a much darker, much more famous name that has totally captured the public's imagination and our fears: the deepfake. The name itself is pretty perfect, isn't it? Deep learning plus fake. It was actually born on Reddit, where a user first started sharing manipulated videos. It just perfectly captures the two sides of this thing: incredibly advanced learning being used to create something that is fundamentally untrue. And look, this isn't some science fiction movie plot. This is happening right now. We've seen a deep-faked Barack Obama literally warning us about the technology that was creating him. There's a fake Tom Cruise on TikTok that is so convincing it is almost 100 million views. There was even a website that could clone the voice of Jordan Peterson before it got shut down. This isn't theoretical anymore. It's here. So what do people really think about all this? Well, to get past the scary headlines, some researchers from Uppsala University in Sweden decided to go right to the source. They came up with a process to actually analyze the public conversations happening online, on the same platforms where these deepfakes are spreading like wildfire. And they went deep. They analyzed 320 different posts from Reddit and YouTube, plus all the comments that went with them. They were looking for the core ethical issues that just kept coming up again and again in these really raw, unfiltered conversations. So what did they find? Through all that data, 4 major ethical alarms started ringing loud and clear, and together they paint a really vivid picture of what we're all so worried about. Okay, here they are: consent, misinformation, trust, and abuse. These 4 pillars really get to the heart of the public sphere. And they're not just abstract ideas, right? They touch on everything from our own personal dignity to the very fabric of our shared reality. Let's break these down, starting with maybe the most personal violation of all. The issue of consent is absolutely front and center. I mean, just look at this statistic. One study from 2019 found that a staggering 96% of all online deepfakes were non-consensual pornography, and they were overwhelmingly targeting women. People in the study described it as more than just a privacy breach. They talked about a profound violation of their autonomy, a feeling of being dehumanized. And when we see real-world cases, like those involving the streamer Atriok or the actress Rishmika Mandana, the public outcry is massive. It shows just how deeply this cuts. And this issue leads directly into the next major concern. The whole foundation of visual evidence is starting to crumble beneath our feet. That old saying, seeing is believing, yeah, that's quickly becoming a relic of a bygone era. And this slide illustrates the two-pronged attack on truth perfectly. On the one hand, you have the immediate danger. You see a fake video and you believe it's real. But on the other hand, there's a much more sinister long-term threat. Experts call it the liar's dividend. It's this idea that when anything can be faked, a guilty person can just dismiss real evidence, a real video, a real audio recording as just another deepfake. And just like that, truth becomes disposable. This question is right at the heart of that third theme: abuse. The research found this debate raging in the comments sections online. A lot of people argue, the technology itself isn't evil. It's just a tool. It could be used for art, for film, for education. The problem, they say, is the person misusing it. But that raises a really important question, doesn't it? If the potential for harm is this great, does that change our ethical duty when we create and release tools this powerful in the first place? So when you put it all together, the violation of consent, the power of misinformation, and this huge potential for abuse, you get to the ultimate societal problem, a fundamental erosion of trust in basically everything we see in the digital world. This quote from the university study it nails it. This is what's at stake. We're not just talking about being a little more skeptical of a funny video. We are talking about a massive societal shift, a move towards a post-truth world where the very idea of digital evidence becomes meaningless.
Seriously? Just pause and think about that question for a second. If a video of a world leader giving a speech, a voice memo from a loved one, or a photograph from a crime scene can all be fabricated perfectly, what do we anchor ourselves to anymore? What's our shared reality?
So where does that leave us? We've seen the unbelievable promise and the terrifying peril. We're clearly standing at a major crossroads, trying to figure out how to live in this new reality that we ourselves have created. This is the ultimate split personality of AI-generated media. In one person's hands, it's a tool for creating a tapir made of an accordion, something wonderful and totally new. But in someone else's hands, it's a weapon designed to ruin lives, manipulate elections, and just tear apart our collective trust.
And so, this is the crucial question we're left with. As this technology just keeps getting better and better, more realistic every single day, the challenge isn't just about spotting the fakes anymore. It's about a much deeper, much more human problem. In a world where anything can be fabricated, how do we ever agree on what's real?